Teška potkorenska staza u Kranjskoj Gori bila je pozornica novog skijaškog podviga Marcela Hirschera. Baš kada je 3. marta kročio u 3. deceniju života i kada je slavio 10-godišnjicu nastupanja na potkorenskom karuselu, gdje su mnogi i najveći lomili zube, iz Kranjske Gore Marcel Hirscher odlazi kao dvostruki pobjednik pokala Vitranca. I to po drugi put u karijeri. Na potkorenu 3, kako se zove ova staza, pobjedio 6 puta, 14 puta se peo na postolje, no ove dvije pobjede imaju drugačiju težinu. Osigurao je oba kristalna globusa ukupnog pobjednika i u veleslalomu i slalomu. Od 7. uzastopne titule ukupnog pobjednika dijeli ga samo formalnost u ureu. Hirscherov opus je nevjerovatan. Unatoč činjenici da je rekord fenomenalnog Ingemara Stenmarka, 86 pobjeda u svjetskom kupu, van njegovog domašaja, bar za sada, svi ga smatraju najboljim u povijesti alpskog skijanja. Bez obzira što nikad nije pobjedio u spustu kao ni Ingemar Stenmark ostalom, a pobjeđivao je 27 puta u veleslalomu, 28 puta u slalomu, jednom u paralel slalomu, čiji nije veliki fan, a pobjedio je jednom u super veleslalomu i kombinaciji. Vlasnik je 6 zlatnih medalja sa svjetskih prvenstava, kolekciju trofeja zaokružio je sa 2 zlatne medalje u Pjongčangu, jedino što mu je nedostajalo u riznici. Skijaški kroničari su ga svrstali u krug najslavnijih Jean-Claude Killy, Karl Schanz, Marc Girardelli, Pirmin Zurbriggen, Ingemar Stenmark, Hermann Maier. No čini se da su mnogi, nakon svega što je Marcel Hirscher ostvario u karijeri, posebno ove sezone, spremni reći da je Hirscher izišao iz tog društva i da je postao klasa za sebe. O svemu tome govorio nam je Marcel Hirscher u ekskluzivnom intervju koji smo radili upravo na njegov rođendan 3. marta u Kranjskoj Gori. Marcel, thank you very much for coming in our program. We call it Oni pobjeđuju, winners, so you have many reasons to be here, and especially after the Pyeongchang, when you reach your final goal, you never won the gold medal on Olympic Games, and you did it now. Did you have a time to rest after Pyeongchang, emotions, physically, jet lag, and sort of thing?
Well, of course, there were 2 days off everything. That was really great to come back to our home base. Our dogs were waiting already for us. But for sure, the last 3 weeks, they were really tight and they were tough. So for sure, all athletes there, we were heading back to Europe. So we all had to deal with the jet lag. So for sure, the moment we are all a little bit tired. Season is already pretty long, so we have the last 2 weekends. It is natural that we are at the moment a little bit tired, but it is really great to be back.
This is 11th season in the World Cup, if I'm counting well. Did you expect 10 wins in this season? Dispute the injury.
Right. So end of August, I broke my ankle. So this was really for sure a big shock. So close to the season to have an injury and a broken fracture on my ankle. That was unbelievable at this time of the year. So doctors told me you have to operate this thing, and at the end of the day I made the decision to say, okay, I let it heal naturally. That means no operation, just a cast, and I think it was completely the right decision because it took his time for sure, but you have to know that ski boots, they are really, really, really tight. I mean, if I mean tight, it is so tight because we're using very small boots to have more
directions.
That's right.
Response.
And of this, or in this case, I were very thankful because if you have screws or plates in your ankle, this can be especially by wearing a ski boot can make problems. So it was the right decision. And at this part of the year, when I started skiing again, I never mentioned that I'm gonna win 2 gold medals, 10 races, unbelievable.
55 in total, 6 gold on the World Championships. So you are close, your collection of the trophies with these 2 gold. I'm not asking you, is your collection finished? is your task is finished, achievement is finished, but we would like if you can stay another several years. And 6 big globes in the total in a row. This is unbelievable achievement.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, now I can. It is getting to start to realize everything, because sometimes you're so in your system, you're just stepping and flying to the next race, and it is a stressy season for sure. And so now there are records where I have to say, wow, this is really such a big surprise. I never dreamed about this. I just my biggest dream was to become a World Cup ski racer.
But this dream became reality now.
That is true.
It's unbelievable. And also your colleagues and my colleagues, the commentators, the journalists, analytics of skiing, saying that you are definitely the best ever in Austria. Dispute the concurrence is very strong. Austria had Karl Schanz, there is Hermann Mayer, there is Ginter Mader, who won all 5 disciplines, etc. You are missing, by the way, only downhill win in the World Cup. Does that mean that your cyclus or your opus was not completed without winning downhill?
No, not really. I mean, at the age of 15, you have to make a decision. You're a technical guy or you're a speed guy. I'm definitely a technical guy. So yeah, and I think it was 100% the right decision. I mean, if I would have 20 kilos more and 20 centimeters in height more...
That's what I want to ask you.
Then
But still, you won 1 Super G.
Yeah, for sure.
And you won combination in Olympic Games. So it's... and also there is another thing, the people saying, and statistics is saying, that you are between 3 best ever. Ingemar Stenmark, Lindsey Vonn, and you.
Yeah.
What do you think about this company you are in?
Well, I mean, it is...
Is it Ingemar Stenmark's record reachable?
It is reachable, but not on my plan.
Federer said that he is not playing to win another 3 Grand Slams, but he won.
Yeah, that's right. But I think if someone is able to reach it, he has definitely to ski around 20 years on the World Cup tour, and not maybe I'm gonna retire in this season, end of this season, or maybe I do 1 year, but then I'm done with it, because it costs me a lot of energy to bring it on the point to go straight through all those seasons. I mean, there was never a point where I went away from this performance level. It was always straight the same level, and this is, I think, we have never seen this before in ski racing, and this is something where I'm very proud of.
Let's start from the beginning. You were born in Salzburg. It's a Mozart city. Yeah. You didn't choose the violin, you didn't choose the piano, you didn't choose the football. Dispute that your mother is Dutch and the national sport in Holland is football, and you decide to take the skis as your instrument. Well,
it is 100% the right decision, but I think it was not a big deal to make the right choice, because my parents are both ski instructors. We are having our own ski school, so it was pretty close that I gonna learn pretty soon skiing, and further they saw that I have a little bit of a talent. I'm motivated, and so they helped me, and they still help me. So a big thank is as well for my parents, because they brought me to this where I'm right now. In terms of preparing the form, top of the form for the event, is it very important to keep the form on sort of level if you're preparing for the big event or through the whole season? Is it sort of philosophy which is a little bit tricky? I think it is more philosophy than a kind of a plan. I mean, I'm sure American athletes do it mostly differently than Europeans, because they are very specific on the Olympic Games, for example. They prepare everything on this one day, and my meaning is always to see all races as the same. There's a different price, but at the end of the day there are blue gates, red gates. We wear skis, so nothing is different.
When you're going to prepare tactically and technically, like here in Kranjskoj Gori, for example, I know that you like this. If you compare the different terrain, if you compare different slopes, is it approach always the same, or you have to adapt it on everything?
Well, you have to adapt your skiing for sure, depending on the terrain. But what is helping me really a lot is the experience I gained from 11 years on the World Cup tour. So, and you have to ski with your instinct very often. You have it or not. So you're very lucky if you have it.
You're saying that you're 11 years in the top, actually. And in this 11 years, evolution of technology, of material, is huge.
It's crazy.
And it's unbelievable. Can you just explain us how you manage to jump from one to another? Because they make a different shape of skis and then scrap it and then make another direction.
Never stop thinking about getting better every day and every day. The day when you're thinking that you have reached your best level is the first day where you will lose the best level.
And what do you think? Is it right decision to move back on the giant slalom skis? Is it reason the injuries of the skiers?
I mean, I think the reason is really that they are thinking about the injuries. What we see right now is knee injuries are getting more, in my opinion. Back injuries are getting less. But ski racing is not the healthiest sport you can do. Maybe I'm allowed to say that. Is there any professional sport that is really healthy at the end of the career? But I think it is more, especially for spectators, it is more interesting to watch giant slalom races right now than the last few years.
If you can change something in the rules or approach to the alpine skiing, what should be?
The time gap between the technical runs. That means from first to second run, there's always 3 hours time.
It's too much.
I think, especially for spectators. For me personally, it doesn't matter. There's a start time. I'm on the start.
Yeah, slalom is 50 seconds, and that's
yeah, perfect. And so there are 60, 70 starters, and I think just for the spectators, it should be a smaller starting field, and put everything more together to have it. I mean, otherwise you're gonna watch the race, for example, let me say in Kitzbühel, and then okay, now we have 3 hours time. What are we gonna do? Or put there a real rock band into the stadium and.
People forgetting what it's about, drinking beer around, and they forgot second runs. Yeah. We are talking about downhill in the beginning. What is the factor of a fear? Is it influence on the decisions, or it's just?
Well, I mean, I call it more respect, because if you do something that you nearly never do, it is completely weird. Because, for example, the first training day in Pyeongchang right now at the Olympic Games, I usually do never downhill training. This was the first downhill training
I've been watching.
In 1 year, not in one season, in 1 year. So this is really crazy to put on the long skis and now putting up the speed to 130 kilometers, jumping, everything. There's definitely nothing where I'm used to, but then you have to ski with respect. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in the net, maybe with another injury. So this is not helping you. And I always try to make a big progress in a very short time, but never push your limit too high in a short time, because then it can be.
But in combination, it is long skis, and then move to the short skis.
You mean during the competition?
Competition?
Yeah, I mean, this is something where we professional skiers are used to this. Should be no problem.
Let's move a little bit on different terrain. Dispute of the dangers of the skiing.
Yeah.
And other sports.
Yep.
Other skiers pay less than they deserve, in terms prize money, etc., etc.
Well, I mean, a a lot of people, especially in Europe, they are very fascinating about ski racing. Then bigger parts of America, Colorado, for example, Asian part, Japan is really interesting in ski racing. So not too much people, but still a lot of people are interested in skiing. And depending on, for example, the high risk of a downhill race, and there are these food wagons, they're gonna sell sausages, for example. At the end of the day, they will get more money of the whole weekend than the winner of the Hahnenkamm race. So this is sometimes a little bit crazy, but I'm very thankful for what we have, because there are other great sports. They have no prize money, they have no fans, but they are still great athletes. So we are not tennis, we are not football, but still in a range where I can say it is okay.
What is your most memorable win? From 55 and World Championships and the Olympic races, and which race you remember most of?
It would be really unfair to pick out one race, because all wins and all races have their own story. Something was really emotional and a very hard situation, maybe the hardest in my whole career, was winning the home World Championships in Schladming in 2013. Because this was crazy, this was insane, because so many people were expecting this gold medal from myself, and then
I've been there, I remember.
Really? So this was the hardest pressure I ever had on my shoulders.
And the end of we are talking about career, about talking how long you can keep your mental and physical strength. How, if we make the balance between physical and mental strength in the skiing, which percentage is dominant? Mental, physical, or you must put all together in the highest level?
All together. You can't win a race without good physical conditions. You can't win a race without mental strength. So it is going hand by hand, and there is another part that is as well that important as the other parts. It's material and setup. Did
you have, in the beginning of your career, some idols? Everybody has it.
For sure I had. Bodie Miller, for sure Hermann Maier, Darren Rolfs, Giorgio Rocca. So there are many guys. Kalle Pallander.
But they are different.
They are all different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any preference for the slopes, for the pistes, for the? I know that you've been several times in dangerous situations, like in Madonna di Campiglia with the drone.
Yeah, that was.
Did you see the situation more and more time before, or after?
Yeah,
happens?
I watched this 1,000 times.
You didn't feel anything in this moment?
Well, I felt something. I
something
thought,
is
yeah,
bang.
I thought a side slipper was too close, or started too early, or a shuffle or something was very close during my run. Something I felt, but during the run I were not sure what it was, and in the finish area I thought, oh my God, because my skis, the end of the skis had already scratches on the base, so this was really close.
So, is there any question the journalist never asked you and you would like to give us answer?
They still ask me already what kind of underwear I gonna wear, so there's nearly everything they ask me.
All right. So in beginning career, when you decided you will be top, when did you feel first time that you have a real chance to be superstar in skiing? When is cross your mind? Is there any certain moment, or after some big race? Or?
After winning the 6th Crystal Globe in a row, I realized I'm able to be maybe a sort of superstar in ski racing. But the first time I thought, okay, I can come really close to my big dream to be once a World Cup ski racer, was the year where I won the first time a Junior World Cup World Championship title. And that means you are allowed to start in the World Cup race. That was the first time I thought about it. Because I'm not the guy who is dreaming about big steps. in my opinion, it is not really making sense if you start with international ski racing, that you're saying, I'm gonna be once 10-time Olympic champion. Is one step you jumped over, step by step. That helped me personally.
Probably in the beginning on your career, did you ever change your sponsors or your equipment?
Well, I changed my equipment. I were 2 years off Atomic. 2 years I skied with Blizzard skis. They were at this time very good in slalom especially. So it was a smart decision because Reinfeld Herbst dominated the slalom at this, in these years. It was around 2009, 2010 where he won his slalom globe. And it was a decision that helped me to jump into the World Cup elite.
At the end, this year you move from the west to the east.
Yeah.
On 3 zones of skiing, 3 different kind of snows. Can you explain it, which sort of differences? Part of the jet lag, flying, moving, traveling?
The snow conditions were pretty the same in Colorado and the same in Asia, for example. Very aggressive, minus 20 degrees, wind up to 100 kilometers per hour. But jet lag is always more easier if you're going west. Staying up a little bit longer is no problem for me. But going to bed at, for example, at your regular time at 2 o'clock in the afternoon is pretty hard.
Okay, thank you very much. But we have a present for you. Probably you remember what it's about. One of your troubles was with the crown on the Sljeme.
Yeah, it is
really
was
broken.
Hard to bring it home safely. Thank you.
Here we are. By the way,
thank you.
You like the slope on Sljeme because you won 4 times.
For sure.
And probably you will have forever 1 golden crown.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, and we wish you to see you at least 2 years and approach a little bit, make intriguing to record of Ingemar Stenmark.
Hopefully. Thank you for your time.
Marcel
Thank you for
Hirscher,
coming.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.